Hi there, I'm Kim from sunny Arizona.
And I'm Kara from vibrant Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to our channel, the Kara and Kim Live Podcast.
We're both seasoned realtors with a passion for all things real estate. From market trends to insider tips, we're here to guide you through the journey of buying and selling homes.
But that's not all. We'll also take you on a journey getting to know various small business owners.
Whether you're a first-time home buyer, need more space for your growing family, or just curious about the market in Phoenix, Arizona,
or a seasoned investor, or you're looking for insights about the Metro Atlanta area, we've got you covered.
Our podcast is designed to be informative, engaging, and a bit fun too.
We love interacting with our listeners, so don't hesitate to reach out with your questions or topics that you'd like us to explore.
Subscribe to our channel and join us on this exciting journey. New episodes will be coming your way regularly, filled with fresh content and expert advice.
So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's do a deep dive into the world of real estate together. Welcome to the Kara and Kim Podcast.
Our next topic, it is probably one of the things I hate doing most. So I'm very happy that there are businesses out here that specialize in this. And if you could introduce yourself and share what you do.
How are you? I'm Yusuf Thorn. I represent and own Concierge Moving. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Small business, but, run like a big business, sort of.
But can you explain what Concierge Moving really is?
So Concierge Moving is pretty much the full moving experience. And what that detail is pretty much, we come in and protect the home, the floors, the walls, the doors. And we come in, we wrap and pad all of your furniture. Everything that we disassemble, we will reassemble at the new home, whether it's a home or business. So once the truck is fully loaded, when we get to your destination, the homeowner or the business, they would let us know pretty much where they want everything. They don't have to lift a finger. We have a concierge service where we have an organizer who will do all of our packing. They will supervise the moves for us. The homeowners, they don't even have to be there. And everything is pretty much straightforward. We get you from one destination to the next.
So you mentioned one destination to the next. Is that just here in Metro Atlanta?
It's here in Metro Atlanta, all throughout Georgia and statewide.
Okay. Pretty interesting and definitely helpful. I know for myself, I do not enjoy the packing. I love moving to a new space, but organizing it all, that seems to take like years off your life.
Yeah, moving is pretty much, actually, it's really the third most stressful thing that you can actually do as far as death and funerals.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree because people are upset about what are we going to take? How soon should we start packing things up? And then once you arrive at your destination, that's a whole nother stress that you guys are able to relieve.
Yeah, we pretty much tell the customer, just let us know everything that's going. Make sure all your valuables are put away because, it could get packed up in the case. But other than that, you don't have to do anything. We pretty much are the full moving experience for you. We take all that stress away. We come in and we're protecting all of your furniture and as well as the home. That's a major key because I know as the homeowner is leaving, you have to sell the home. So everything has to still be in pretty much good shape. We don't want to bang any doors or any walls or anything like that. So we take our time, but we definitely get the job done.
Yeah, I had the benefit of seeing them in action and they might even wrap a little too much.
Yeah, you definitely might sometimes not even recommend, or you might not even know what that piece is after we're done wrapping it. So
as a real estate professional, I have seen many times a homeowner will move out the house, and when the new buyer is doing their final walkthrough, you end up with holes in the wall, and that just throws a wrench into the plans. And sometimes you have to push the closing back, or that costs the homeowner additional expenses. So I really appreciate your guys' attention to detail and the care you take with furniture. So can you walk us through how it looks when somebody comes to you for a move? Like, do you do a detailed quote? Like, how does that?
Yes, so usually if it's whether it's local or long distance, if it's more than a 1 or 2 bedroom, I always like to come by just to do an in-home estimate just so that we can get always an most accurate estimate. Just because, sometimes if I'm doing it over the phone, you may not even see what it is. Something, customers aren't always aware of what they have until it's actually in the truck. They don't think that they will have a full truck, but usually sometimes that is the case. A lot of times we have to come by and do it. If it's a long distance, we always come by. So we will check every item, make sure that, we'll do a full count of each item just to make sure if it's 102 items here at the destination, it'll be the same thing at the origin.
Okay. So how far in advance do you recommend a homeowner reach out to you for a quote?
In the wintertime, it's usually anytime because, it's the slow season. A lot of times we may be off the clock, maybe a day or two, or, maybe even 4 days out the week in the wintertime. But in the summertime, you usually would want to contact us at least a week in advance. Sometimes if it's last minute, we got crews that'll definitely tackle the job. But if it's always better to be organized and have it at least a week in advance. If not, we're taking it all.
Okay. So now this is I'm springing a question on you last minute, but imagine if it was, let's say, a 4-bedroom home, right? And they're moving from Atlanta to, let's say, New York. Roughly, what do you think would the pickup time to delivery be? Just to give our listeners an idea.
Usually all of our long distance is pretty much expedited. And that's the best thing about certain small moving companies. Let's say if it was on a 18-wheeler, a lot of times customers won't receive their items for at least 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. And with small companies like us, we're up close and personal. So from the time I see you for the walkthrough, I'll go ahead and give you the entire rundown, whether it'll take one day to get everything loaded, the next day we get on the road. So for the New York trip, we would typically 4-bedroom, that would most likely be a 2-truck move. So we would come assess the situation, have the movers come out after that. It would only really take about a full day, let's say 6 to 8 hours to get everything loaded. We would initially get on the road maybe the next day, if not that same night.
And so then it would just be drive time.
Yeah, drive time. You can only drive 14 hours out the day. So, and this is the best thing about moving companies, because you want to have the same crew at the origin and at the destination, because your crew is going to know what you have.
Absolutely.
And with that move, we would pretty much have it done within 3 days. They would see their shipment within 2 days. Sometimes we even beat the customers there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really that good.
Okay. I like that. Full service is definitely something that I have come to appreciate here in Metro Atlanta. So I'm glad that you guys offer white glove, full service concierge to your clients. Now, are there any insurance options that you guys have?
So as far as insurance options, we always have the free standard Georgia insurance, which is 60 cents per pound per lost or damaged item. That sometimes sounds kind of crazy to customers, but that's usually the normal standard way, just because certain items aren't always able to be, you won't always be able to get that full value. Once it's already a used item and things in that nature, we always try to be fair. So let's just say, even if the customer does get the 60 cents per pound, sometimes I'm just more so liable for just, making sure that if anything does happen, I'll try to just, make the customer happy. If it's a ding in a dresser, or maybe let's just say it's a chair that, that gets a little damaged, we'll try to either replace it sometimes, depending on the pricing, or, like I said, anything to really just make sure that the customer's happy. It's more so long-term, not necessarily about the money with the jobs. Like, if I can have that customer for longevity, then I'm willing to just, take a couple of dollars, or, even a few hundred off of the job, just to make sure that, that customer is happy, because we're here for them.
I appreciate that, especially working with a small business, when you can talk to the owner directly instead of having to go through, several layers of corporate mumbo jumbo, let's say.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now let's say a client has an expensive item, let's say an heirloom piano or something that's been passed down. Are there any sort of enhanced insurance?
Yes, the enhanced insurance is where you can make a deposit, and usually it covers up to $13,000 to about $16,000. So we have an option A, and then we have an option B. And the first one was the actual 60 cents per pound, which is free, the standard Georgia insurance. And then we have the other two options where you just make a deposit and you get $1,000 deductible. And then there's the option B, where there is about roughly up to 13,000. I have to look into it again, but it's definitely depending on the pricing,
Okay.
but it actually adds into the bill at the end.
So can you share a challenging move experience that you had recently with the listeners?
I would have to say that it may have been the move that we made.
Yeah.
It was very, very long, and actually we're still in the process with that move. So the homeowner, they wanted to, and sometimes it's like this, and it'll change numerous of times. Their original idea was to, buy a home in California, and they wanted to sell the one that was here. But when things didn't fall through in San Francisco, it kind of like just took a big dive. And so they went from rental to rental, trying to find like the perfect match, something that's actually big enough and, maybe have enough storage for some of the things.
Yeah.
But what happened is we ended up having to just move everything into a storage unit. They had about 5 to 6 truckloads, and we ended up only taking 2 truckloads to San Francisco. And so now we have about 4 left, and when they find their new home, we'll actually move them out of the existing one that they're in and then move everything else to California.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm in real estate, so I understand inventory is low, especially when you have particular needs and you're looking for in a home. But I appreciate that you're able to be flexible with them.
Yeah.
So
Flexibility is key. It's the concierge way.
yeah, I love it. Okay, so are there any like additional fees for extremely heavy pieces of furniture?
No, ma'am. I usually keep it straight to the point. I feel like that's kind of cheating, I feel like it's cheating. Furniture is furniture. We move it whether it's if it's heavy or not. I know some companies, like, they may have like stairs, like, stair fees and all of these things. We just do it either by the hour or it's flat rate.
Okay.
It's straight to the point. And usually 100% of the time, if it's long distance, it's going to be a flat rate. And if it's local, it's going to be hourly rate. But if it's an intrastate, now there's a difference between interstate and intrastate. Interstate is when you're going long distance, and intrastate is when you're staying within the state. So it's actually 50 miles or more outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
That's when it's intrastate. So when it's intrastate, I'll probably do either or, depending on the customer and how they feel. Sometimes they may want a flat rate, or we still do it hourly.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely helpful. So let's say you have someone who's not necessarily moving, but they're doing, let's say, remodel to their home and they want some things delivered, furniture or appliances. Is that something you also provide?
Definitely. We always do small deliveries, no matter what it is, as long as it's not flammable or anything like that. But we always do deliveries. We will always move. Like, I have jobs sometimes where, like you said, they're renovating. So we'll bring them out of the home, whether they want it like in their garage or down in their basement. We'll move it. Or if they need it to a storage unit, we'll do that as well. And we also do staging for a lot of real estate companies. Yeah, that's a big key. We love to be with the realtors.
Yep.
Yeah, they keep us going.
Another question I have. So you mentioned your partner who's an organizer, and I can't wait to have her on the show, but that will be a later episode. Can you explain just a little bit about some of the organizational services that you guys offer?
So with the organization, so the organizer that we do work with, she does pretty much anything from declutters, organizing closets, organizing kitchen spaces, and they also manage your moves for you. So like, let's just say you met with, like, let's say it was an older couple who were, they're getting older, they can't pretty much do a lot of the things that they would like to do. She'll just pretty much supervise everything. She'll come in with her crew, organize everything, declutter, and also manage the movers. So if I'm not there, she'll pretty much let the movers know, okay, these items will be going to a certain place, or, a lot of times, sometimes there's more than one location. So, she pretty much covers all of those small details for us. Like, everything that's fully wrapped, we'll put pictures on the outside just to make sure that we know what it is. And we always use her for packing. Like, we pack, but it's better to just let her pack it because she's actually in tune with that, and she's most detailed. Like, filing cabinets, like, she'll get all your files put together. Medications, she always checks dates. When it comes to pantries, she's just really good. And when it comes to that, we just let her handle it. But our crews can do it. But when you have a person that specializes in it, you just let them give it, because that's just how we share the craft.
So another topic that's maybe not as comfortable, but divorcing couples. Mm-hmm. Can you share any advice or tips to those who are moving out of a home and they're moving to 2 separate places? How do you handle that?
Usually with that, we just set it up where either if the wife is moving out first, we just usually have schedules. We put them on a schedule. Say, oh, if the husband is going to be here within this time frame, you can call us for X amount of hours. And when it needs to be rearranged for the husband, we just separate. We color code everything. We've even had situations when the couples would actually move out the home, but they shared storage units, and so we just pretty much just have everything organized where maybe the husband's stuff is always on one side and the wife is on the opposite side, and vice versa, whether they're moving to separate homes or anything. We always just make sure that the schedule is good for them, and we're always just, like I said, flexible.
So if you are interested in having any concierge moving services, whether in the state of Georgia, outside of the state, where you need things moved around within your home, feel free to reach out to Yusuf. Can you share your information?
Yes, our IG is Concierge Moving ATL. Our Facebook is Concierge Moving. My business page, our website is conciergemoving.org. And let's see, that's about it.
Okay. And all of the information will also be in the show notes, so you guys can copy it from there as well. So I'm really happy we were able to tackle this sometimes least desirable topic, but definitely needed. And I thank you so much for coming by today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All righty.